It's about 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. I got a million things to do, but first, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a latte with a Moka pot. I hope you guys appreciate that I'm doing this for you. I think I need a haircut too. So I'm not going to discuss whether or not a Moka pot can make real espresso right now. This is just a recipe video. But if you want to see my thoughts on that, hit the subscribe button because that video is in the works and should be coming out pretty soon. See what I did there? Okay, so I'm going to start by weighing out 25 grams of whole beans and then grinding them about halfway between a pour over and a French press. Maybe a little coarser than that if I've got a really dark roast. Now that much ground coffee is more than is going to fit in the basket if you just pour it in. But we're going to overfill the basket and then tap on the side as we rotate it around until the coffee settles down to be level with the top of the basket. This way we can fit all 25 grams without actually compressing the coffee, which would cause a longer brew time and significantly more bitterness. Once the basket is ready, put 300 mils of boiling water into the bottom chamber and then drop in the basket and screw on the top chamber. Then place it on a stove top on medium-low heat and open the top cover. It should take about 4 minutes for the top chamber to start filling with coffee, and you'll want to be paying close attention when it starts brewing, because just before it fills the top chamber halfway up, you'll kill the heat, close the lid, and run the bottom edge of the Moka pot under cold water to stop the brewing process. Cutting it off about halfway through is what will give us a much stronger shot of coffee than you would normally get out of a Moka pot. Now for the milk. The best method that I've come across for making quote-unquote steamed milk without actually using a steam boiler is one of these stainless steel hand pump milk frothers. They're like 15 bucks on Amazon. The best way to use it is to place a small saucepan on the stove and then pour in some of the hot water that was left over from filling the Moka pot. Then fill the milk frother with about a third to a half cup of milk along with a thermometer and a spoon, and then stick the whole thing into the saucepan. You can do this while you're waiting for the Moka pot to brew, and the hot water in the saucepan will slowly start bringing the milk up to temperature. Once the Moka pot is done brewing, turn on high heat under the saucepan and start stirring the milk to make sure you don't scald the bottom. This is also why we're putting a water jacket around the milk instead of placing the frother directly on the stovetop. You could do all this while the Moka pot is brewing, but I think it's better to wait, as the Moka pot will keep the coffee nice and hot while you heat the milk, but the milk frother will overheat once you've got it to temp if you leave it in the saucepan, and then your milk is going to taste cooked, which is not a good thing. Or it's going to start cooling on the counter, losing heat and foam if you just take it out of the pan. Now your mileage may vary, that's just my advice. Patience has yet to ruin my morning coffee, so this is how I do it. And speaking of temperature, we want to get the milk as hot as we can without making it taste cooked, which is 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and Google it in Celsius. Once the temperature is about 158, I know that if I pull it, there's enough residual heat in the steel pitcher that it will continue to rise a couple more degrees, so I turn off the heat right before that and then pull it at about 158, 159. Then you insert the plunger, hold down the top with a towel, and give between 10 and 50 pumps depending upon how much foam you want, and you've got the closest thing to steamed milk you can get without actually using steam. Then you just add your coffee to a mug, give the milk a quick stir to make sure the foam is well mixed, and then pour it over your coffee. And voila! You just made a latte at home with special tools that cost about 35 bucks. Not bad for staying home, and a heck of a lot cheaper than actually buying an espresso machine. Now I should mention that you can't make latte art with this particular milk frother without modifying the lip, as it doesn't focus the foam into a stream when you're pouring it. But anyway, this has been the homemade edition, and I appreciate you stopping by. Stay tuned for more coffee content coming soon, and I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.